Welcome to this presentation about the IATA-FIATA Air Cargo Program, the IFACP. This webinar presentation will cover the following topics. First, the background, then an overview of the IATA-FIATA Air Cargo Program, and finally, the IFACP implementation plan, specifically for Canada. So what is the background that led to the development and now the launch of the IFACP? It is the changed role of the freight forwarder and evolution over recent decades from being agents who were selling products and services on behalf of the airlines to forwarders who are more customers of the airlines. While the previous role and relationship operated within the framework of the IATA Cargo Agency Program, with rules and procedures governing primarily the promotion and sale of international air transportation on behalf of the carriers, this is no longer appropriate in today's environment. It was time for modernization. Both IATA and FIATA recognize the need to review, redefine and re-engineer the current agency program and to work together to develop a new program that would better reflect the changed agent-airline forwarder relationship. After several years of collaboration, the IATA-FIATA Air Cargo Program, the IFACP, is the result. Both organizations have agreed to support the IFACP and have signed an official cooperation agreement. The new program will be jointly managed by forwarders FIATA and Airlines IATA, and a new joint governance board will be the decision-making authority to establish the IFACP rules. Now an overview of the IFACP. The vision of the IFACP to be a modern forwarder endorsement program that will operate globally and meet the needs of today's air cargo community. It should ensure mutual benefits for airlines and forwarders. All parties agreed it should be business as usual, so the transition from the existing IATA Cargo Agency Program to the new IFACP should not adversely impact current day-to-day business relationships or interrupt the flow of cargo between shippers, forwarders and carriers. Current IATA accredited agents will be provided with a new IFACP forwarder agreement, which once signed will allow them to automatically transfer to the new program and to continue their operations and current CAS participations as is, without any further assessment. Their endorsed status and codes will continue to be valid. So what are the benefits of the IFACP? Well, it recognises that the majority of the cargo tendered to airlines is on a principal-to-principal basis. The forwarder is no longer acting as agent, but is more a customer of the carrier. The IFACP has a simplified and streamlined governance structure to reduce the administrative requirements to manage a global program. The new joint management structure is better suited to meet the industry's expectations and customer obligations going forward. IATA and FIATA cooperation will ensure the program's relevance and that appropriate endorsement criteria and qualifications are applied for membership to the IFACP. The cooperation and collaboration between IATA and FIATA has a greater potential to achieve common key industry goals, including the e-cargo priorities. The differences between the current and modernization program are shown in this table. The left column shows the current status and changes or differences that are represented via the IFACP. The current status shows there are 8 IATA cargo agency programs that operate under varying IATA cargo resolutions, such as 803, 805, 807, 809, etc. These will be replaced by a single global program, that is the IFACP, operated under a single set of standard rules. The IATA Cargo Agency conferences, an airline-only forum, will be replaced by the IATA-FIATA Governance Board, a joint and balanced airline forwarder board that will set the IFACP rules and its procedures. The conference adopted IATA resolutions. In the IFACP, the rules governing the programme and endorsement criteria for membership, such as operational and financial criteria, will be set by the IFGB. The IATA Cargo Committee, which advises and sets strategic direction for the industry's cargo agenda, as well as other functions of the conference, will continue and current roles will be maintained, as will the CAS and the IATA CAS operations and settlement procedures. These are unchanged and are separate from the IFACP. The Cargo Agency Conference maintains governance over the CAS, and IATA and the CPG, the CAS Policy Group, continues to manage CAS. CAS rules have been consolidated into a new single global IATA resolution, new 851R, replacing 801R and RE, but with the same conditions. It standardises and updates to better reflect the current procedures and practices, with country exceptions clearly shown. Transfer to the IFACP will not affect participation conditions in CAS either for airlines or forwarders. Currently, there are approximately 80 diverse local and regional airline or joint bodies that provide input in respect of the current agency programmes. These will be replaced by a reduced number of joint councils for the IFACP. Currently, 10 such joint councils will be established. There has been some conflict and ambiguity in respect of the current rules and terms. It is hoped the IFACP has improved and has better defined roles and responsibilities of forwarders. In future, any such issues will be resolved via the jointly managed programme and via the IFGB. IATA agent-based accreditation standards are being replaced by customer-based endorsement standards, which have been established following joint consultations. This slide graphically shows the new governance structure. The left and centre columns showing the unchanged governance in respect of CAS and the Cargo Committee. The right column shows the structure of the IATA-FIATA Air Cargo Programme with its governance board and regional joint councils. As there will be a number of reduced councils, these may set up ad hoc and temporary working groups as needed. The following slides summarise the key highlights of the IFACP and the changes it represents. To recap, the various current IATA Cargo Agency and intermediary programmes will be replaced worldwide by the single new standardised IFACP. Global management will be via the new Joint Governance Board, the IFGB. Adoption of programme rules, including operational and financial criteria for endorsement, will be via the IFGB, so jointly by airlines and forwarders. Such criteria will be based on recommendations emanating from new regional joint councils, which will provide consultations and feedback and proposals in respect of specific local criteria or standards. The streamlined governance via the new joint councils will replace the multitude of current local assemblies, councils, ICAPs existing under today's conference structure. The current criteria, including established local financial criteria, will be transferred and applied upon implementation of the IFACP, ensuring the as-is and non-interruption of current operations. The newly constituted joint councils will subsequently be able to propose any changes to current local criteria, including financial standards, to the IFGB. The new joint councils being responsible for the endorsement and retention criteria specific to their respective country or countries. It has been agreed via the cooperation agreement that all current local financial criteria will, however, be subject to a review by an independent legal counsel to ensure its compliance with competition law prior to transfer to the IFACP. The CAS rules and procedures and current charges continue as is. In future, the CAS operations remain separate from the IFACP, since CAS remains under the jurisdiction of the Cargo Agency Conference and the management of IATA. Other applicable fees and administration charges, such as annual fees, etc., will remain unchanged upon implementation of the IFACP. In future, the fee structure and fee levels will be decided by the IFGB. Ready for carriage conditions and provisions in respect of operational criteria such as DGR training requirements and best practices in respect of cargo standards will remain unchanged. The new IFACP handbook is issuing issued that will contain all of the programme rules. The handbook will provide links to various cargo industry standards, helping to raise airline and forwarder awareness of industry requirements and responsibilities. This slide shows a flowchart in respect of how an airline will transition from the current IATA agency programme to the IFACP. The adoption of new Resolution 849 by the conference in March 15 confirmed that IATA member airlines agree to participate and contribute to the new joint IATA-FIATA programme, to accept the transition and to transfer authority from the IATA Cargo Agency Conference to the future IFGB, and current agency rules into rules and criteria established by the IFGB for the IATA-FIATA Air Cargo Programme. Therefore, IATA member airlines will not be required to sign any new airline general concurrence. In summary, there are no extra formalities required of IATA airlines, who should continue, as today, to accept freight tendered ready for carriage from IFACP endorsed forwarders. This slide shows the flowchart of how a forwarder can join the new programme. The top line shows a new application, which, as today, will require the submission of an application to IATA and passing of an assessment of financial and operational criteria before being accepted and endorsed in the IFACP. For existing IATA agents, the simplified process will allow an automatic transfer upon signature of a new IFACP forwarder agreement without additional formalities or assessment. Should a forwarder only wish to join CAS and settle amounts due to airlines via CAS, the option to become a CAS associate, as today, will continue to exist, separate from the IFACP. The most senior group in respect of the IFACP will be the IATA-FIATA Governance Board, the IFGB. This body, composed of senior industry representatives from airlines and forwarders, will govern the IATA-FIATA Air Cargo Programme. Between 4 and 6 members from both the airlines and freight forwarders will be the voting members, who serve a 2-year term, renewable up to 4 terms. Non-voting members may be appointed by IATA and FIATA, as a minimum the global IATA head of cargo and the chairman of the Air Freight Institute of FIATA. Decisions by the IFGB will require the consensus of a majority of the representatives of each voting constituency, and the quorum necessary to take actions shall be 4 or more members from each side. The IFGB is responsible to establish guidelines for endorsement of IFACP forwarders related to the operational and financial criteria, and to determine relevant industry standards and procedures. It will consider and adopt recommendations from the regional joint councils to develop and maintain the programme rules. In future, as a senior joint group, also to engage in commonly agreed industry projects and initiatives. Previous slides have mentioned the streamlined governance and the new regional or national joint councils. This slide provides details of the new IFACP joint councils, one of which will be established in respect of Canada. The Council consists of a balanced membership of between 4 and 6 airlines and forwarders. Airline representatives are appointed by IATA via the Cargo Agency Conference and forwarder representatives via FIATA, drawing from national cargo forwarder associations. The Joint Council is responsible to make recommendations for any changes of local criteria for endorsement by the IFGB. The Joint Council makes proposals or recommendations based on a majority decision, and meetings may be convened as necessary face-to-face or via conference call if more practical. To ensure active participation of the members, any delegate who fails to attend 2 consecutive meetings will be removed and a replacement member, either airline or forwarder, nominated. Both IATA, the global head of cargo, and FIATA, the chairman of AFI, or appointed local representatives are non-voting members of the Joint Councils, and the IFACP Programme Secretariat, currently managed by IATA, will act as secretary of the Joint Council meetings, convening the meeting, preparing the agenda, writing the minutes, etc. Joint Councils also have authority to set up any temporary working groups as appropriate, e.g. composed of financial experts if local financial criteria are being discussed. The implementation plan. This table shows steps and the planned implementation timetable specifically for Canada. The key milestones are listed together with the tentative timetable. The first step is the initial joint communication letter that will be sent to all current participants of the Cargo Agency Programme, providing an introduction to the IFACP and dates for the information sessions via webinar. For Canada, this is the 15th of August. The National Forwarders Association, CIFA, will issue a local press release that IATA will also then tweak and circulate to its press contacts in the market. A number of dates will be fixed for the IFACP information broadcast via webinar, coordinated with the local IATA office and CIFA. IATA agents, as well as any current CAS associates, may subscribe to participate. Around the same dates, an information session, also by webinar, will be organised for local airlines. Following these sessions, IATA will then proceed to send a second communication to the current IATA agents, inviting them to transfer to the new programme and sending their new IATA-FIATA Air Cargo Programme forwarder agreement with instructions for signature and return. The deadline date for return of the new agreements will be set at approximately 6 weeks, and follow-ups will be sent to ensure a maximum number of current agents sign up to join the new programme. The IFACP will be declared effective when a majority of the market has signed up. This will be confirmed by a joint communication letter from the IATA-FIATA Secretariat. Immediately following such announcement, the market will then cut over to the IFACP. To summarise the key points of the table and what is involved during the implementation from the prospective parties' point of view, IATA's point of view, IATA will coordinate various national communication campaigns which will take place to introduce the new programme, jointly and in conjunction with the local Forwarders Association. New agreements with respect to the IFACP will be sent to all current IATA cargo agents for them to transfer to the new programme, simply by signing up via the new agreement. IATA Airlines have adopted various transfer and tie-in resolutions, including a new general concurrence, which means they will automatically participate in the IFACP when this is implemented, and continue to accept freight tendered by IATA-FIATA forwarders. A small number of non-IATA carriers participating in CAS will be required to sign a new general concurrence to ensure they also agree to transfer to the new IATA-FIATA cargo programme. IATA will control the return of the new IFACP contracts and follow up with individual forwarders failing to sign up. As indicated, no financial or other assessment will be necessary for current agents when transferring and signing up for the IFACP. What else is involved during the implementation from FIATA's perspective? Well, FIATA will invite its local forwarder association, so CIFA for Canada, to actively participate in the joint communications any briefing sessions and local coordination in respect of the IFACP rollout. FIATA and its local member associations support the IFACP and therefore will inform their local forwarder members and advise about the IFACP and its implementation. The local forwarder association SIFA is working closely with the local IATA office to ensure the success of any roadshow or webinar sessions. For the airlines, similar communications and information sessions will take place in the local market. IATA will explain the new program rules and implementation timeline, as well as the deadline to transfer from the current IATA agency program to the IFACP. If an airline wishes to participate in the local joint council, it should submit a nomination to IATA. Airlines will be informed of the new general concurrence as well as the opt-out procedures for non-IATA airlines that participate in CAS. Their head office will be required to specifically sign up for the IFACP, since they are not party to the IATA Cargo Agency Conference decisions. For current IATA cargo agents, they will be invited to attend an information session. Various dates will be set for webinars to explain the new program rules. Such sessions will indicate the implementation timetables and timelines and when the market should switch to the IFACP and the current agency program rules will no longer apply. If a forwarder wishes to participate on the local joint council, they should submit a nomination to FIATA or to the local association, SIFA. Most importantly, current agents should sign their individual IFACP agreement and return this before the deadline. The market will be notified when the IFACP implementation and new program is declared effective. More information can be obtained via the respective IATA and FIATA websites shown on this slide, which also have a number of frequently asked questions and links to other customer service support in respect of the IFACP. Thank you for your attention and participation in this IFACP information session.